AQ went blah. Cheaters in Battlegrounds again. Spring cleaning drops today. And Kabam compensates some drop rate issues, but won't others. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Friday.
Listen, dumb crunch. I may have lost my body in a freak car wash accident, but I still have teeth.
Right, okay, that's a new one. And what Deadpool meant to say was make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Subscribing to a channel is free. Please consider doing that as we push this year to 70k subscribers. Also, thanks to everybody that popped on by to last night's stream where we got 3 back-to-back wins in Warzone, which is really cool. Also, shout out to Big L who sent in a donation, and I think I forgot to say thank you on that stream. So thank you very much, Big L, if you're watching this. Speaking of last night, AQ last night. There was no AQ last night. Why? Because of issues. Yes, if you've been following in-game messages and others, you'll get the impression that AQ did not go as according to plan. Where there's, as said here, that the team got the enlistment phase started and it still is working on the modifier selection. We'll update when we have new info to share on that one. And yeah, on the top there's a banner saying due to issues the next must be blah 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 blah. In a nutshell, today is when we'll be able to get this rocking and rolling with the setup phase. And then that probably means that either later on today that we'll be able to get locked and loaded, rocked and ready when it comes to getting into a bit of Alliance quest grinding. So look out today to see you know, this beginning. If not, it may, I don't know, break again as things in Contest of Champions does. But now let's move on and talk about the exploration bundle that comes at the end of Act 7, because this is all like factors into this Paragon push. The biggest thing is like a lot of players who are Thronebreaker want to push for being Paragon. However, though, it may not be as much of a realistic thing. So there needs to be stuff that you can do in order to grab stuff. One of those things was that maybe at the time people didn't have enough units to do or grab the exploration bundle at the end of Act 7. So when you go for the completion, you get access to it. And what are Kabam doing? Well, we did talk about this briefly over the last couple of days, that Kabam would put out something of an extension of that, and they have now announced that. So we will be extending the eligibility period for the special discount early bird price for the exploration bundle offer you receive after completing Act 7.4. The price will now end on May 4th at 10 AM PT. After this time, the price will increase to 12,000 units. If you would like to receive the offer for the sale price of 10,000 units, please complete Act 7.4 before 10 AM PT on May 4th. Additionally, we will be re-enabling the offer for those that chose not to purchase it when initially completing Act 7 Chapter 4 at some point before the discount ends. More information will be posted when we will determine the date for that. So yeah, get grinding for units and stuff. Whether or not people are going to take the gamble for July 4th deals, that'll be another thing, and that's something I've got to work towards. Once I've got some very kind of like important deadlines kind of like smashed out, I'm back into that arena grind baby and trying to see if I can get a lot more by July 4th, because hey, I want to get to that Paragon, and I'm gonna have to work hard for it over the next 2 months to achieve it. Whether or not we're going to see some Eternity of Pain announcement soon, but that might be something that I might have to hedge my bets towards. Whatever a betch is. Right, now let's talk about drop rates and compensation. I think this is probably going to be the last time I kind of talk about drop rates and MCOC, because it's just, there's very kind of like mixed kind of rules on things when it comes to what Kabam will compensate. There was a time back last year, which, as I said, like this was kind of the main kind of point for me not wanting to spend in MCOC because of the way that some of the crystals were handled. In particular, you know, stuff like this, like where it's Cavalier Annual Crystal Selector, and there was no drop rates there. You then clicked on the crystal, and there was no drop rates there as well. Like there's no drop rates right there with them, and it kind of like made me feel like I don't want to kind of be doing this anymore. I don't want to be spending on a game that doesn't bother to say, okay, well, is this the correct drop rates or incorrect drop rates? As a lot of you know, Kabam had a bit of a bad track record towards the end of the year on posting those particular ones and posting the correct crystals, because you know, you like look at it going like, is this the correct drop rates for the correct crystal that was buffed from the Cavalier difficulty, or Cavalier kind of like, yeah, the Cavalier changes that Kabam said they were going to make and did, but the crystal's scuffed. Now, bringing it now to the current day and the current issue, or the most recent issue that Kabam kind of alluded to, and this was to do with the Crescent Moon package. Recently, we have run a Crescent Moon selectable crystal offer, which due to unintended issues did not include drop rates and may have led some to believe that the crystals should have been Nexus crystals. Moving forward, we have fixed the issue for the missing drop rate and will be switching the crystals for Nexus crystals. So that's good for those particular, you know, crystals in future of what you kind of look to grab, because Nexus crystals are so much more fun. Anybody that has purchased this offer in the past will receive a new selector for each offer they purchased, allowing them to choose a Nexus crystal. This may take a few weeks to get to all affected summoners. We apologize for the inconvenience and confusion. So yeah, I mean, for me personally, for the issue that I raised back in late December, it just doesn't look like I'm going to get any kind of like resolution to my problem, and that's fine. But as I said, I'm kind of now reached a point where I'm now 4 months in of being non-spending, and I think I'm pretty much happy to continue on that particular push and narrative, because it gives like a better idea to kind of sculpt content around and kind of figure out better ways to kind of like deal with situations. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing for those in a retrospective. All right, moving on, and yeah, so the people that are looking to get compensation for, say, you know, this here, you will more than likely get it. So yeah, I mean, that's good news coming your way. Next up, and Battlegrounds is back, baby. And when it means that it's back, it means that cheaters are back. Yes, indeed. Oh dear, it's always funny to see like the cheating coming back in this particular mode. Here's an example here. There's several examples. It's always, I wouldn't say it's a big surprise, because it's like this is what now is the norm. It's as soon as this launches that we see stuff like this. So Anso says, as per title, my 565 signature 200 Reg Magneto lost to a 6-star duped rocket in 6 seconds with 99.99% HP remaining. It looks fishy, but I don't know enough about Rocket to know if it's possible, taking into consideration high rarity, but class disadvantage. Thanks. Image removed as per forum rules. Yeah, that's funny. Like, I appreciate the player kind of like going like, you know, I don't want to kind of like say anything, because people might go, no, he's got, you know, it's God tier kind of thing. Because that's the thing. You might go, is there something of an interactional thing here? No, this player is quite right. That is absolutely ridiculous. A 6-star duped rocket in 6 seconds is able to win in Battlegrounds. Yes, I kid thee not. That that is the thing. That is hilarious, right? And he's not alone, okay? He's not alone with it. Because like a lot of other people have said exactly the same thing. There's several other threads on this. I recently played in Battlegrounds and played against a player who finished in 6 seconds with a safeguard node. He may possibly be hacking, and to me, this needs to be addressed. It's creating unfair matches between summoners. Yeah, look, here's the thing. It's still going to affect people. Like, we haven't heard anything about safeguarding when it comes to Battlegrounds. If you lose, that's not proper English. If you lose your points, it messes up like your how you're going to do in the leaderboard. And that is a massive problem, because you're like, right, well, if I lose rating points. If I lose rating points, I lose position. If you lose position on the leaderboard, then you might not get enough of the currency at the end of the month in order to do anything with it. You might be looking at the store, which at the moment there is no store, but you might be looking at the store going, do you know what? I've lost, you know, one key battle that kind of took me over, I don't know, a threshold. Because it could be something saying you have to be like, you know, top 10%, and you get something. You may be kicked out of it because of somebody cheated, and it may be the last game of the season, or of whatever Battlegrounds is going to be. But still, it can lead to a very negative environment for these particular situations. So it's very disappointing to see this. But this is just the problem with that we have at the moment, because we've got no kind of like live kind of like anti-cheat type thing. It kind of means that this is just, well, you know, what we've got to put up with for the time being. I wish that Kabam would find some kind of way of dealing with this. Banning people once is fine, but they could just jump into a new account and create something, or just write out their ban for what will be like, I don't know, 24 hours or something, and then come back in again, do exactly the same thing, and just be slapped on the wrist constantly. Unless Kabam do permanent bans on people. But, you know, that's just the situation and life that we live in playing this game. And now, a quick note on Deadpool spring cleaning. As a lot of you know, Deadpool spring cleaning is going to be dropping later on today. There's been a few people that may be a bit confused about what type of deals that you get. Deadpool spring cleaning in its past has been a very spendy type event, especially if you go into game, which does say that there's things added to unit bundles. Which if you go into game right now, you know, you'll see from the in-game message that that is how that's going to be. Yeah, a few people reached out to me and said, are there going to be like unit-based things? I think people may have been confusing with an older event. So Day of the Deadpool, which was an event that ran in the past, did have things like, oh, you could spend on gold, but also there were unit-based deals as well, which looked a little bit like this, but this was back in, say, like October time. So don't get too confused with that stuff. There's not to say that Kabam won't run it, it's just more than likely they will go with the spending narrative, which is to put in the unit store. So, you know, you have to go and spend real money to get doubloons, then you'll be able to spend more in the store. I think last year Kabam did give out some free stuff, so I don't think free to play are going to feel ridiculously, you know, outweighed in where the spenders are. They're going to get something, potentially, as I said. They gave a chunk last year, you got to spend them as you wished, but there may not be something of huge value in comparison to the spenders, but we'll get something as non-spenders. And yeah, so the store would look a little bit like this, not completely, but yeah, it gives you an idea of flavour. So, you know, no unit stuffs, and look forward to later on. We'll be doing some content on the channel about the doubloons. And also thank you to those that support the channel as a YouTube member and as a Patreon. You're on screen right now. Thank you so much for the love and support. Also those that support on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. Appreciate you very much. And yeah, I will see you very soon for another live stream like last night where we got 3 wins in Rebirth back to back to back. That has indeed been the show. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out some other content located on screen right now. I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be about the... oh no, it's a comic book sponsored video. We're reviewing a comic book as a sponsorship thing. Then we're doing spring cleaning. So look forward to that, and I look forward to seeing you in those videos. Bye-bye, everybody!